yeah. See, I don't like that. That should work there. Let's move this mic over here in case someone pops up. Turn off my man's music here in case he wants to take me down on YouTube. He won't, but you know how that YouTube stuff goes. All right. So I'm still trying to figure out this whole live streaming thing and all of that. So I've done it before, but you know, things change over the years when it comes to tech. So I need to flip through a couple things and see what works best. Plus kill some things that are running in the background, so that makes things worse. And then let's see, I believe there's a chat room or something other over here. So let's see. At least I thought so. Okay, looks like there is a chat there. But I need a better way to see that. And I thought that I had something called a Restream. But then again, I may not have had Restream installed on this computer. That might be the issue, because I had it on my old computer and it ran in the background and it let me pull up like the chat and send the stream to multiple platforms and all of that. I don't plan on streaming to multiple platforms. No point. I'll just come in here to YouTube where y'all are. And if you got questions, you can pop in here. In the meantime, I'm going to keep working on some stuff. I've been trying to clean up a little bit in here. Let me see, maybe I can turn that camera on. Oh, I can't turn that camera on to give you the wide view because that camera's right here in my hand. I haven't fixed it, or I haven't put the rig on it because I have to. This is, you know, my primary photography camera, but I use it for shooting the wide shot of this here studio. And when I need to use it for the studio, I have to put a rig on it so I can mount it to the video tripod. And right now I don't have a quick way of doing that. You know, with my Blackmagic camera, it's got a rig on it and all of that. And when I take it off the tripod, I just leave all of the stuff on it because I can still handhold it and shoot with it with the rigging on it. But it's only for video, so it makes sense. But this being for photography and video, I need my hands to be good enough to work for photography when I'm shooting these basketball games, because that's pretty much what I've been shooting of late. It's basketball. I shot one soccer game, and I gotta tell you, shooting that soccer game was a disaster. It was a disaster. The images, I'm glad I got some good images out of it, but man, I'm not used to shooting soccer like that. It's a whole different flow. I don't know the game of soccer like really, really well. And then at least with football, I have a general sense of how things are going to flow offensively and defensively, and I can position myself to get ready for a specific frame. Because, you know, if it's 3rd and 8 and they got 5 wide receivers out there on the field, they're probably going to run like some type of high-low. So I know to sort of frame up my shot in that particular area where the ball is probably going to end up being before the quarterback gets it there. And that helps, you know, and it makes the images look really good because they're properly framed and all the other settings are good to go. And I literally just wait and click, it's there and it's done. Soccer, man, them dudes do a lot of back and forth in about maybe 50 yards, well, not 50 yards, maybe about 20 yards. Just a lot of back and forth right around midfield in my experience in that one game. And it's such a mess as far as it's really crowded and stuff like that. So it's hard to get a shot because when you're doing sports photography, you want to try to single out one person in the shot as the subject, at most single out 2 or 3 in a shot because you want everybody to fill up the frame so you can only put so many people in it. And then you really want to try to make sure the ball is in the same frame too. So when you're looking at this soccer scenario, all them kids are just sort of bunched up together and you might see the ball and then you got their backs are to the camera at time, which is a no-no. Well, I'm not going to call it a no-no, but I'm just going to say it doesn't really help your shot with a lot of backs to your camera. So anyway, I'm going to get back to setting this thing up. And if someone pops in here with questions, feel free to ask. Let's see here. I guess I could let everybody know that I'm out here. So let's do this whole thing. Hit that button there. And then go over here. So that's done on the social medias. I do a copy. And then we can go to Blue Sky. And then I could put it on Blue Sky because apparently people care about Blue Sky, right? And then put this on Threads. And see what happens there. And then I could put this on, the Fediverse. Paste. And make it public and post that there. And then if somebody wants to pop in, I'll see them there. But in the meantime, I'm just going to hang out and keep doing what I was doing a minute ago. Between cleaning up and rigging shit. As I rig, I need my tools. Check my phone. All right, and that person has not responded to my message. Another thing about doing these here live streams, I put a feeler out to see if people were interested in me doing them because it's an effort, and because of time zones and stuff. You're going to have to freaking coordinate what's going to be the better time to do these things, or coordinate as far as, what's the lesser of two evils when it comes to the timing of doing these things. So I don't want to do them too early because I got other stuff that I want to do, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean being in front of people, if you will, even if it's virtual people. And then sometimes I don't want to do it too late because that screws up and not get enough people involved. People miss out, You need to figure all that out. I asked about this in my recent newsletter that went out. Newsletter in air quotes. And had one person respond, "Hey there, Mr. Brazel, good to see you, brother." One person said, yeah, they'd be cool with the live stream and stuff. So I'm just waiting to see if anybody else feels the same way. Mr. Brazel is up in here. Check him out. It's Steve Brazel with 2 L's. It's basically Brazil with 2 L's. Check him out on your social platforms and on YouTube. His YouTube channel with Behind the Shot, it's pretty freaking fascinating. He's been really busy, but I think he's now getting back into the groove of doing more Behind the Shot podcasts and great interviews regarding the world of photography. Highly recommend. I think my favorite episode that he did wasn't even a photographer. It was, well, maybe he is a photographer, but it's Mr. Winston from Canon, and he came on and he talked about autofocus and how all of it works inside of the Canon cameras, and it was so fascinating. Now, yeah, it was definitely technical and nerd-tastic, and a lot of that stuff is going to go over people's heads, but there was a lot of aspects in it where he broke it down into the simplest terms to make you think as a photographer, oh, that's why this works, that scenario, so on and so forth. But yeah, it was really, really good. I don't know if it's his most popular video on his channel for Behind the Shot, but it's probably my favorite one. But yeah. And hey there, Miko. Good to see you. Brian. Hello, Brian. Thanks for popping in here. Brian says, hey, Ant, love your content. I appreciate that. I do. I'm sitting here now. You see me looking down at the camera. When I started this, I've been in here trying to put this rail on this camera because this camera is my wide shot for my studio. And unfortunately, it's not rigged up right now because it is my primary photography camera too. So I got this camera that I'm looking at now. That's my video camera, my Blackmagic camera. So it hardly ever goes anywhere. And if it does need to go anywhere, I could still leave all the rigging and stuff on it. But I can't leave the rigging on this camera because I shoot basketball games with it. So it takes me a minute to get that set up at times. But I definitely need to get it set up because I'm using 3 cameras for my podcast called Everyday People. Brian, have you checked out Everyday People? Miko, have you checked out Everyday People? Have you, Steve? I still got a ways to go on getting my studio set up. I said on the last episode, it's going to be a couple weeks before I get all this stuff figured out because I spent the last 4 years shooting in this studio doing solo content, been for whatever I was doing for Twit, whether it was hands-on photography or This Week in Google or whatever. I had it set up just for me. I had 2 cameras. I didn't have 3 cameras set at the time, but I did have 2 cameras. I had the main camera there, and then every now and then I pop in an overhead camera. But I had it just, it was perfect. I literally would walk in here and just flip maybe 2 switches, 3 switches tops, and I was ready to roll. I was on air. Just pulled the mic around, and I was ready to roll. And that doesn't necessarily work for Everyday People, my Everyday People show. Thank you, gents. I appreciate that. Thank you, Miko. Thank you, Steve. And so what I had envisioned for the relaunch, if you will, of Everyday People podcast was first to bring video to it, because when it started a couple of years ago, there wasn't any video involved. I had video capability, but I didn't want to do it because there's a lot of work doing video for podcasting. I just don't think people get that. It's a lot of damn work. And I said, when I relaunch it, I'm going to do video. But if I'm going to do video, I want to do it right. I don't want to make it just sort of slapped together. I want it to look right. I want it to sound right. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point, I'm monetizing that show. You know, I want sponsors. I want to be able, you know, the agreement that I made with myself and my family is I will relaunch that podcast, but only if I can get it to where it could at least pay the water bill at the house once a month. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a lot of money, but that's enough for me to continue to put effort into it and trying to make it look right and sound right and all of that good stuff. You know, because for you folks in the podcast industry, such as my man, Mr. Brazel, you know, there are a shit ton of podcasts out there. So many out there. So a lot of the good podcasts, they get lost. And you'll spend a lot of time trying to put so much effort in to make things better and look better and sound better and, you know, decent content and whatnot. And you end up burning yourself out because it's such a rat race, because it's just so many podcasts out there and you'll still get missed. You could have beautiful sound, beautiful imagery, and the masses won't see it because it's flooded with a bunch of other junk. So I said, if I'm going to put that effort in, I want this to have a good return on investment, you know, and right now my investment is time, which is probably the most important investment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've spent money too, but some of this stuff I've already had in place. I didn't really have to do a lot of upgrading and so forth. I had a lot of this gear already. The only thing I did do was get a microphone for her, because I got a bunch of mics here. I think I got like 3 different mics that are vocal mics, and they're totally fine. But I'm on this PR40, and I wanted to have her audio profile match up with mine. So I said, if anything, I'm going to get either myself a different mic, or I'll just get her a PR40. So that's what I did. I just got her a PR40. I was able to find one used. Yeah, folks, look for stuff used. You don't have to always buy brand new shit. That microphone is used. Great shape. Got it the other day and it's sitting over there. And her audio is going to be much better. Steve in the chat says, shocking how many shows are out there for every conceivable genre. Yep. And most look and sound horrible. Yeah. And I got to tell you, man, I'm spoiled when it comes to podcasting. Pretty much everything I listen to is going to have some pristine sound, you know, because it better sound good to keep my attention. Because if it sounds like a wreck, I'm automatically turning you off. And I feel that way about, you know, my show. I don't want it to sound horrible, because I think if it sounds horrible, the listener is going to turn it off. Oh man, I just mounted this thing too close. Whiskey Canuck says, it is as good an investment as buying cases of scotch 5 years ago would have been. Good call. Miko says, it's been over -20C, so I make cold balls. Miko, you're somewhere like, are you in like Finland somewhere? I'm not trying to dox you or anything, but you're somewhere in that Northern Europe, right? If I remember right. You've been around for quite a while in my social media feeds and so forth. I always recognize your name. And I know you do photography, and I also know you do magic tricks and stuff. You still working on your magic tricks? If you got a link to one of your magic videos, you should post it right there in the chat so everybody else could see it too. Know what I'm saying? Let's see what you got, Mr. Magician. All right, so I got this wound up there. There we go. And all this is, the only reason I put this rig on this video camera, hybrid camera, is because I use a V-mount battery with it. I do have one of those dummy battery things that I could plug in and couple it with the little decoupler and whatnot, and that'll work too. But putting this V-mount battery, it's just one less freaking cable running across my floor. It's one less thing. I'm not going to be in here shooting for 8-9 hours. This battery is going to give me at least 2 hours if I need it, but I'm not even going to be shooting that long. So that's why I put it there. Miko says, yeah, Kuopio, Finland is where he's from. Cool. I wasn't 100% sure, but I guess I do remember some things sometimes. All right, so let me put the last rail on here. See, that part was just for the battery, but this part is for the tripod. And I don't like that this particular rail doesn't have a wing nut on the back of it. Wing nuts are the best way to go. Now, in my opinion, wing nuts are the best way to go. Everybody wants you to use freaking Allen wrenches, but man, I hate carrying around all of these freaking Allen wrenches. Just give me a wing nut on the back and let me tighten these things up that way with my fingers. Steve, I do want to go to Magic Castle. You've told me about that before, and I've been hearing about Magic Castle. Is it like, I thought it was like exclusive. Am I wrong? Don't you have to have some type of invitation? They don't just let you go up in there as a regular? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought it was like a club almost. Because I've heard, the times I've heard about it, I've heard it from some people that deal with celebrities. I'll just say that. So I assume that it's exclusive to get into Magic Castle, but I could be wrong. Fortunately, you're here to straighten me out. Magic Castle is down in SoCal, everybody. And see here, I'm looking for a freaking Allen wrench to fit this thing. This is so annoying. You know, and this is not small rig. This is from Benro. And I love Benro. Benro make great tripods. I have several Benro tripods around here. But put a daggum wing nut on this thing, man. Whisker Nut says they haven't standardized on the IKEA size Allen wrenches. So you only need one. Man, I know. For real. And Steve says, yep, it's a private club for members or guests of members. He's a member. Ah, okay. So I was right. I was right. So you could get me in there, my man, being a member. You know, that's something I've never done. I can't say I've been a exclusive member of anything. I don't know why. I don't know if, I can't say it was lack of opportunity, because I'm sure some things have been tossed my way as opportunities. But I don't know why I've never really joined any type of clubs or whatnot. You know, I think the closest thing I've done was a golf membership, but that wasn't for the country club. That was just a membership for the golf course to be able to play almost when I want, not all the time, but almost when I want, and with, you know, no additional fees and stuff like that. I did that several years ago, back when I played golf regularly. I don't play golf now, and I wish I did. I need to do something about that, but I don't have the time like I used to. You know, what's crazy is I don't live very far from a golf course. I'm like minutes away from a golf course, and I've yet to play since moving out here. All right. So the rig is now on there, battery, and the rail is on the bottom. Next, I need to get the USB-C cable to go from the DTAP battery and put that USB-C cable into the camera. And this is over here somewhere in this mess. Oh, well, I have a long one right here. So we'll just use this long one for now. I don't recommend using these long cables. If you can go shorter cable, do that, because that keeps things a little less hazardous. You know what I mean? But whatever works for you. So there's USB-C. All right, see, that's a long cable. You know, to its credit, it is orange, so you can't miss it, hopefully. But I don't like a bunch of long dangling cables on rigs like that. It just leads to a lot of accidents. I haven't had them yet, but I've seen people have them. But yeah, so now let me put this up here and put the HDMI cable in. Right. That ain't it. That's USB-C. Oh, my HDMI cable fell on the floor. There it is. There we go. And I love Canon, but I do not like these micro HDMI ports on these cameras. Gotta go full size. Okay. That's there. Should be able to slide right on. Survey says. Why aren't you sliding in here? That normally slides right into place on this rail, but it's tight right now. It's a little bizarre. Oh my. There we go. I guess I was a little off center with it. Now I can power this up. Like that. Put it in video mode. We gotta make sure the actual battery kicks in. Let's see. Anything in the chat? Nope, not yet. Oh, it's not picking up my battery. What the heck? There we go. Now I got a green light. I had a green light for a second. This is bizarre. Might be user error here. Take care, Steve. Good to see you. Yo, this is weird. So I guess I have to take this off and fix it. Alright. It was not powering up. Not sure why. I could try a different USB-C cable. See if that'll do it. I can go with this one here. It's another long cable. Just need to get power. Turn this switch off. Back on. I'm seriously not getting power. Why am I not getting power from my battery? It's fully charged. I'm looking at it right now. It says 100% on the back. If y'all have any questions, go ahead and ask. That's pretty much why I just opened this up. If anybody had questions for me, my photography, video, content, what have you. Dude, this is not good. It's not powering up even for the photo side because it's got two different switches. One's for the photo side, one's for the video side. The video side runs a whole other OS. This battery is a ZG Cine V50, Victor 50, ZG Cine. It's a nice portable battery. You can carry it around pretty easily. You can put it on in your bag if you want to get it on an airplane. It's approved. Is my camera okay? I hope my camera's okay. It's a little weird. It's not taking power though. I might have to get a third USB cable. I hope it's just the bad cables. See, I got to get this figured out before the next time I record. Damn. So let me grab another USB cable. So I got one, but I think it's too short. It's only about 6 inches. So that one's too short. This one, I know I've used it before, so it should work. Let's try it. Cut the power. All right. Battery says it's working. All right, turn on the camera. Does it work? Oh my. All right, so now this is what I'll do. I'll grab an actual regular Canon battery. So I got a regular Canon battery, LPE6N, very specific battery that goes in here. Canon R6 tested for USB to battery and only USB 3.1 work. Yeah, I hate that crap. It shouldn't be that freaking difficult. All right, so now that I have the Canon battery in, it is now accepting the charge from my ZG Cine. So I guess that's the case. I can't just let it run without the battery in the body. Oh well. So let me see if I pull it back to this other cable. Throw that over there. Let's try it again with this other cable. An orange cable that I could see and not wreak havoc. Hey, Joshua Rice, good to see you. I am unbelievable, sir. Hope you're doing okay. All right, power's up, and it does say USB on the display. So now let's put it back into the tripod. Into the tripod. I used to be able to slide this rail on pretty easily. I don't know why I can't today. Used to be no thing to slide that on. Now that took an effort. Okay, so that camera's there. Now if I do, I think this is camera 2. Yeah, there we go. That's a wide-ish view. Looks good. And you can see I still got a lot of cleaning up to do, man. A lot of cleaning up. I've made progress though. Hey, the Russell, what's up? He says, love the pod and the live streams. Thank you. Good to see you. If you got any questions, please feel free to ask them. Oh, Liana, aloha, dear. Good to see you. I love you. You mean so much. And Richard says, hey, whoa, Richard Williams. Thank you, man. Hey, long time no see. How you been, man? Richard's over there in the UK, I believe. Y'all have any questions, feel free to ask. Like I said, I'm just in here trying to clean up. Was trying to get that mounted so I can record our podcast here in the next day or so. Don't know if I'm gonna record it tonight or if I record it tomorrow. But what we have found is when we record the show at night, we got to time it with the freaking crickets and the frogs because they are loud. Even with making sure everything's closed up, they are so daggum loud. You can hear them outside. And I got to tell you, noise reduction does a good job cleaning it up, but it'd be a lot easier if I didn't have to deal with that crap. And then over there on the corner, you'll see Kylo has walked in. He's chilling. He's got a bandage on his back because he's got a crazy sore on his back. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're doing our best with him. He's fine. It's just some weird bump that's popped on his back, but he's an old dude. He's happy. I'm not sweating it. All right. So anyway, so that's done. What do you want, dude? I didn't call you over here. Why you come over here? What's up? Did you need something? It ain't time for y'all to go anywhere. And then Biscuit's over here too. You can't see Biscuit. He's down a little bit further. Don't y'all make a mess in here, knocking my stuff over. These XLR cables right here on this mic. These are compliments of Mr. Burke at Twit. So when I was going through cleaning up the previous weeks, my XLR cables, they're fine. They were long and whatnot. But I've had them for a while. And I know you need good cables. But I also know that Mr. Burke will make XLR cables just at the ready. And I said, hey, Mr. Burke, Can you make me 2 cables that are Burke approved? Because at Twitch Studio, that's another thing. There's a bunch of XLR cables at that studio, but they're not all Burke approved. So he throws out a bunch of stuff and he makes them himself. I'm not sure what frozen bubbles are. I guess that's just a live stream froze. Miko, I'm sorry. But yeah, he made these nifty XLR cables for me. And I hope they sound good. All right. So, of course, the dogs are sitting right up under my feet. Why is that? And you're sitting on a USB-C cable. Why do dogs just sit right up under your feet? Anybody have an answer to that? You know, there's been so many times I've accidentally kicked my dog that's under my desk because I didn't know he was under the desk. Because I get comfortable and stretch out and all of that stuff. Richard says audio and video is 100%. Excellent. Thank you, sir. Speaking of audio, been working on just speaking into the mic better, because in the last couple of episodes, especially when we've had our animated conversations, I'll just say it that way, animated conversations, every now and then you get off of the microphone. And so when I go back and listen to it for post-processing and editing and whatnot, I will hear her speaking, but she's not speaking into the mic. She's speaking over here. And if she's speaking really loudly, she's picking up the audio there, and she ends up sending it to my microphone over here on the other side of the room. And that's a bit of a pain to try to make that cleaner, but we're working it out. So the both of us are going to do our best, because I've done it too. You know, I've found that this mic makes me sound really, really good when it's right here. Now, granted, from a video standpoint, it totally covers up my mouth, so it's not the best shot. But at the end of the day, I need this stuff to sound good. So having it right here is pretty much ideal for my voice. You know, I've working with Mr. Sargent and working with Mr. Howell. They can have it right about here, I've seen, and it sounds fine for them. My voice doesn't carry that way for whatever reason. So it never really worked for me. And if you go back and look at some episodes of This Week in Google, when I was actually in studio for This Week in Google, there's a lot of times people couldn't hear me, and the editors, they did their best to try to raise up my levels and stuff like that, but it didn't work as well. But you'll see that I eventually evolved to moving that microphone right about here, because that's where my frequencies are being picked up at, you know. And that's the thing, you get people talking about this mic versus that mic. This mic is better than that one, and so on and so forth. And yeah, there may be some things structurally and engineering wise that are better than the others on different models of microphones, but that matters not if it doesn't necessarily make your voice sound good. You know, everybody loves the Shure SM7B, and I do too. It's a very, very good mic. But for some people, it makes their voice just a little too rich, a little too deep, you know, and that it doesn't work for them. It works for a lot of people, but every now and then it doesn't work for people. They sent me one to try out. They have a new one. It's over there somewhere. I'll get to it one of these days. I got other stuff to do, but I'll try it out one of these days. I like some of their, like I've tried out their MV7. It's like a hybrid microphone where it's got an XLR input and it's got a USB input. So if you don't have a mixer, you could put it in via USB, and it sounds pretty damn good. It sounds like their regular SM7B, almost, not quite, but almost. Miko says, how much you can gain, more gain, I guess add more gain. On this mic right now, I'm not quite at the max. Let's see. I'm not going to talk, but I'm going to turn it up just to see how many decibels more I could go. So I'm going to mute it. Okay, I was 5 decibels away from max on my mic gain, and that is pre-fader. That's the input gain. Now on my fader, I can turn my fader up, but if I turn my fader up, I'm probably going to hurt some ears. So I'm going to turn it up to unity now. All right, so this is the mic set to unity on the fader, and I'm looking at my meters and it's not looking good. So I try not to keep it there. I try to pull it back right around here. This is a decent level on the fader. So, and just so you folks could see, I don't know if you could see my interface here. So let's do a zoom. All right. I want you to zoom right here, thing. Come on, focus. You're not going to focus? Huh. Well, anyway. But this is my fader. If I turn it up, you start to see that it goes way over there in that red. Don't want that. So I'm going to pull that back right about here. Oh, man. Mr. Williams with the super chat. Dude, thank you. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. It says, Richard Williams says, always love your work, Mr. P. You're an amazing creator and family. Hat tip to you, sir. And thanks for the motivation and positivity. It has impact. Ah, come on, man. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. It's funny you mention motivation and positivity, considering the last week and a half, I've been quite frustrated with life. I've been so frustrated with stuff. Granted, my life is good. I'll say that. I think my life is pretty good, but I do suffer with some frustrating things in society and how people are treated, you know. And so every now and then I rant, but at the end of the day, I do just try to tell people, hey, be well today, but make sure you're doing well too. Make sure you do something nice, do something well for somebody else. Cause man, this world needs it. I mean, it's a bunch of narcissists and selfish people in this world, man. It's a bunch of them. And I tell you right now, I think I'm a selfish person. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I'm a selfish guy, you know, and I'm working on that to an extent. But thank you, Mr. Richard. Miko say, fader doesn't help gain so you can be, fader doesn't help gain, help so you can be, yeah, right. You're 100% right on that, sir. Yeah, the input gain is the main key on the other side. But when I turn that fader, yeah, I could be back here and pick it up. But you're also picking up that fan that's over there in the corner on one of those hard drives. You know, because I can hear it, so I know that microphone can hear it. So I come back over here, not picking up as much room tone with the fan, but you are getting my natural speaking tone. This isn't even my broadcast voice. Now, this is my broadcast voice right here, but, you know, just speaking tone. Yeah, this sounds much better. I say that as an assumption, considering I don't even have my cans on. Let me put my cans on and listen. See, now, Miko, you got me paranoid. Miko's got me paranoid about my audio. So let me hear how I sound. Yeah, I sound great. Yes. Okay, I'm good. Because this is just my normal, regular speaking voice. Now, my broadcast voice is right up here, but I'm not a broadcasty type guy. You know what I mean? Okay, taking my cans off. There. Thank you again, Mr. Richard. Thank you to Miko. All right. Well, folks, I got to get out of here. I have a meeting coming up in 20 minutes. It is a meeting that I'm not really interested in, but I got to do it. You know, when it comes to dealing with California unemployment and all that good stuff. Miko, oh man, thank you. Miko with the super chat. It says, get yourself a nice drink. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. I shall. Can I get myself a nice bag of coffee? Is it you cool with that? Because I've just run out of coffee this morning. Is it okay that I go get a nice bag of coffee? Oh, and I hate all of these stupid emoji things that comes up with Mac. I really need to turn that off. You know, that happened the other night while I was recording because I was trying to do the O for Oregon, University of Oregon, and it comes up as a heart. That's a daggum O for Oregon. That's not a heart. Miko says coffee is fine. Liana, thank you so much, dear. Hugs to you. Real talk. Good to see you. All right. Take care, Mr. Richard. Good to see you. Have a lovely evening. And yeah, y'all just stay in touch. Make sure you're following the website, antpruitt.com/blog, and you can subscribe to the newsletter there. I update on that newsletter at least once a week, if not more, but at least once a week. I send an update out to keep people abreast of what's going on and things that's happening and share some of the content that I've created. In the meantime, I'm going to get ready for this meeting. Y'all be well. Do something nice for yourself and do something nice for someone else. Thank you for the super chats. And I'll see y'all later. Take care.